We all like to sit back and relax in the garden, and with the right plan, you can create a seating area that's your own personal sanctuary. Here's how to do it. There was a time when this seating area here underneath this old apple tree had real charm. I mean, imagine, can't you, pink blossom, then apples when it was a little younger than it is now. Up the side, a lovely rose bush coming into bloom. But it's all gone horribly wrong, never more so than with this furniture. It's a good place to sit, but not at the moment and not on that. There are positive angles to this, the best one being that the view is glorious, a pergola covered in roses, except you can't see a lot of it at the moment from these old branches hanging down. It's sheltered, and you'll feel when you're nestling up against this old tree that you're a little part of history. So there's a potential place of great well-being here. It's just that it's tired and worn out and weary, and when you're tired and worn out and weary, I want you to be able to sit down here and think, oh, isn't this lovely? Time to see what I can do. The first thing I want to tackle is this rose. Now, it looks quite charming and oldie-worldy. If you look closely at it, you'll see it's a briar. This rose has gone back, as we say. All roses are grafted onto a rootstock of dog rose, and dog rose has 7 leaflets like this and a tiny pink flower. The variety's completely disappeared, so this is just an old briar. But it's got charm, hasn't it? So what I want to do is just trim it back a bit so it's not going to use a Yorkshire expression, clork anybody with these great spikes it's got on it. I'm going to thin it out a bit, which hopefully will keep its charm and also reveal something of this rather delightful old garden roller underneath, which at present is totally hidden from view. This is what's known as judicious pruning. I'm not going to sort of just cut it like a skirt all the way around. I'll leave some bits. A bit more of this off under here. This isn't going to do the rose itself any harm. It'll grow back quite vigorously, but hopefully more under control. Now this is already finished flowering. Dog roses flower quite early in the summer, sort of April, May, and you can see the flowers have been and gone. It doesn't flower again, so there's nothing going to happen here now again until next year. But it's still quite attractive. There's a bit of green froth around the tree. A little bit more there. And these tiny shoots on the apple can all come off. It also reveals this glorious gnarled trunk. There's a great cavity here which looks like something out of Grimm's fairy tales. If I get rid of some of this cobwebby stuff, I don't mind the fact there's sort of ivy growing up there, and this will be a real haven for insect life. Now, hopefully you'll agree that we've kept the charm of what was there. There's a sort of venerability to old trees. I mean, this one here must be more than 100, and it's an apple tree that is still fruiting ferociously. It's not particularly pretty at the moment. I think we can just thin out that a little bit. We can make it look a little bit more elegant, I think. Time to find the loppers. want to try and do it so almost you can't really see where I've been. So it still looks like a lovely old apple tree with bits dangling down, but nothing that's going to get in the way of your head. But it's that much more attractive, lets in a bit more light, and also lets you see out to see the view a bit more. A fringe really, rather than a dense curtain. Oh, sorry. So there we are, I've lifted its skirts a little bit. You can see through it, but it's still tantalising with the view. And I can see what space I've got to work with now. I can do a sketch now and work out what I can do to give you an even greater feeling of being enveloped and hugged by plants and flowers and looking out across the garden. With something like a seating area, it's a good idea just to make a sketch plan of what you hope it will look like. And there you can see it's actually basically a hexagon of paving through which the tree erupts. So hexagon has 6 sides coming down like that. That's the front. And I reckon if I put a flower bed behind the paving and then also down these sides to there, I can then have some foliage. The tree is back there, occupying that sort of lump with branches that stretch way out here. It comes a long way out over this seating area. And then what I think we'll do is we'll have on these back borders here, we'll have shrubs, because they will then wrap around where you're sitting, and in front a lighter arrangement of border perennials which you'll be able to see over, because you'll be looking out there and there and there, and we'll get a bit of colour in there with some pink flowers. And now that we've exposed the garden roller, it becomes what it is, which is a piece of garden sculpture. So what I'm really hoping for when this is finished is that it becomes not just something that you walk past and think, oh, that's an old tree, but a destination for morning coffee, afternoon tea, evening drinks. Shall we go and sit underneath the old apple tree with anyone else but me? No, not that line, but that's where I want to be. One thing we do need is new furniture. So I've gone for this Adirondack design of chair, wonderfully angular, American design, age old. You see it on so many American verandas, but it really is incredibly comfortable. I just need to finish putting it together. There we are, one Adirondack chair. I told you they were comfortable, didn't I? Oh, they are. A bit boring in the plain wood, even though it's been treated. A bit more interesting colour, then I'll be happy. The colour I'm using is Heritage Blue, and I think it'll work incredibly well with the pink flowers of the rose up and round, and with the planting scheme. As soon as you get that first bit of colour on, you think there's a kind of feeling of newness and renewal and freshness, and it is astonishing, you know, what paint can achieve in a garden. Not quite as much as plants and flowers, but it has its part to play. There we are then. That's phase one. On now to phase two. Join me next time for the next phase in my brand new seating area. There's nothing I love more than sharing my passion for gardening with you, so why not subscribe? I'm posting new videos every week.